Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to do another review, and today's review I'm doing is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Luke Perry, Austin Butler, Sydney Sweeney, Mackie Madison, and many more. Many more. So many, it's like an all-star cast and a lot of good cameos in this movie. And it was written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. And one thing I gotta say about this movie is I'm a huge fan of this movie. I'm a huge fan of this movie. I love this movie. And I really want to say that it's a beautiful, right. It's a beautiful letter to old Hollywood. Basically a tribute to Hollywood, period. And it's one of those movies that you don't see, the studios don't sit down and make no more. And one thing I love about this movie was it's a tribute. It's about focus on Rick Dalton, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and Cliff Booth, a guy, Rick Dalton, the stuntman, played by Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, go over Hollywood, and Leonardo DiCaprio character is facing disgrace because his career is over. He ain't the star like he used to be, and he tried to find his place in the new, because the industry is changing. Because basically it's all about him and Cliff go around LA that day, basically while him in the studio while Rick is making a cowboy western TV show Lancer, and Cliff Booth is driving around Hollywood doing his thing. But it's really about they're trying to find their feet in the new area of Hollywood. And best part about it, he found out his new neighbors are Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate, played by the lovely Margot Robbie. And what I gotta say about this movie is it's one of those movies that it's tribute to old Hollywood. Stuff you don't see, they don't make no more. The writing is amazing, and I feel like they got snubbed at the Oscars. At least they won 2 Oscars: Best Supporting Actor for Brad Pitt and Best Production Design at the Oscars. But I think Quentin Tarantino should have won Best Director for this film, and I think because it's one of those movies I like. One of those movies that Quentin Tarantino easily made without the blood and the gore and all that, but you can see some of that at the end of the movie. And also, it's like best part about it, he barely said the N word in this movie. That's what I love about this movie. It's like he can't stop saying the N word, but it's one of those movies. It's like the writing is amazing, but I remember it was all controversy when he first announced it, and because Deborah Tate, Sharon Tate's sister, was so take all about it because she thought it's gonna be a straight up Manson movie about the Manson family. Basically, it actually take place around the Manson murders led by the Manson family, but at the same time, it's more like a alternate timeline. That's why I guess I'm not trying to spoil it, but I'm not gonna spoil the movie. But it's more like an alternate timeline. Like, how it could have been if what it could have been in an alternate timeline, and also it's one of those movies that became, because basically 5 people, the people remember the Manson family, became big stars: the Michael Madison, Sydney Sweeney, Annie McDowell's daughter, Market Quality, Annie McDowell's daughter, Austin Butler, and a lot more. But also horror queen actress Danielle Harris is in the movie. She got a little small part. She was one of the Manson family members, and one day she was actually pregnant in this movie. She played like a pregnant Manson member, but she was actually, funny part is she was actually pregnant in real life in this movie, because horror actress Danielle Harris, very down to earth woman. I met her at the conventions and all that. But one day one day I promoted the movie in the interview, that Brad Pitt say they don't sit down and make movies like this no more. It's one of those movies that Hollywood don't sit down and write good stories no more. I see what Martin Scorsese talk about, how all you see now is sequels, remakes, and superhero movies, and rebooted franchises instead of original storytelling. But don't get me wrong, there are original storytellers in Hollywood, but it's not don't get recognized enough. It's like they all bomb at the box office, but it's like it's telling you a lot of things. And this movie, I love this movie so much. It really got me into screenwriting, got me to become a screenwriter and all that. one day I kind of become a screenwriter. For years, people keep telling me to be a screenwriter, but I keep brushing on. But if I saw this movie and Scream 4 and other movies throughout the years, and I finally sat down and started writing, and I never looked back. And you never know. You're looking at the future Oscar winner right here. You're looking at the future Oscar winner. And I gotta sit down and say, when about this movie is, I truly recommend everybody go see this movie. If you haven't watched the movie, definitely go see this movie. But it's really about Leonardo DiCaprio character Rick Dalton try to find his place in the new era of Hollywood. Cause basically like his new agent played by Al Pacino. I love Al Pacino in this movie, and it's like he tried to find his place in the new Hollywood era. Him and Cliff. But I gotta say, Cliff tried to go around trying to get their spot, but Cliff being blacklisted, couldn't find a job as a stuntman. And I'm not trying to spoil the movie, but it's one of those movies that is it's a good watch. Definitely, I recommend to watch. Everybody go see this movie. Watch this movie when you get the chance, and I highly recommend it. Definitely go watch this movie, and also, and when about the movies like this, you know, what I start seeing, and like Brad Pitt say in the interview back from the movie, he said like, I know I already said it before, but they don't make movies like this no more. They really don't sit down and take the time and write it, and make films like this no more. Like a 2.5 hour, because the movie's like 2 hours and 40 minutes, but I'm used to it. But thankfully I snagged the poster from the movie theater years ago. But I recommend everybody go see this movie if you haven't seen it yet. But this is one of those movies. It made some huge stars like Austin Butler, Mackie Madison, now Oscar winner Mackie Madison, and Sydney Sweeney, and Market Quality, and many more. Because a lot of people became famous after this because of this movie, and also Dakota Fanning in the movie. She played Squeaky, one of the Manson family members. But the actor, I like the actor who played Charles Manson in this movie. But besides playing Charles Manson in this movie, he also played Charles Manson in the show Mindhunter. That's him in the Mindhunter as Charles Manson. He played both Charles Manson in this movie and Mindhunter. And give it a good watch. And I highly recommend everybody go see this, and hope everybody have a good afternoon and all that, and have a good one. Bye.